Some people say God speaks softly, whispers, gentle nudges. Yeah, not with me. God knows I'm stubborn, so he uses 2x4s. Right to the forehead. Celestial lumber. Heaven's Home Depot. And it always right when I'm about to do something deliciously chaotic. So lately, I've been drowning in grown-up nonsense. Legal crap. Landlord drama. Everybody and their mama telling me what the right thing to do is. File this. Sign that. Say you're afraid. You have to claim fear for the paperwork to look right. Oh, I'll tell you what's scary. Me, when I'm irritated. Because here's the truth. I'm not scared. I'm pissed. On a cellular level. People mistake kindness for weakness. They mistake avoiding drama as can't handle drama. But let me be clear. Kindness isn't weakness. It's mercy. And mercy is a muscle most people don't have. So one morning, I'm sitting with Joe, and we start plotting. Not felonies, okay? Light misdemeanors. Biblically questionable pranks. We're like, what if we follow him to work, wait for him to go inside, and then wallpaper his car with his own nasty text that he sent us? We were cracking up, crying, wheezing, sounding like two hyenas on a sugar crash. I was ready. I was in full Old Testament energy. Like, God, give me one plague. I promise I'll use it responsibly. It felt right. It felt just. It felt like the Lord himself might be nodding like, okay, boo, one time, go off. And then Joe opens his mouth. No, babe, not now. Don't do it. Don't bring scripture into my vengeance moment. But he does. Of course he does. He starts reading Romans 13, the whole playlist. Love your neighbor, do no harm, put away darkness, walk in light, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly I feel that heavenly 2x4 right between the eyes. I look at him rubbing my forehead. Welcome to my world. God ruins everything fun. But that wasn't the biggest 2x4 God ever hit me with. Not even close. I remember it like it was last night. Caitlin was so little, about 2 years old. I had this dream. It was so vivid. It was the most vivid dream I'd ever had in my whole life. A nightmare that felt so real I woke up drenched in sweat. I dreamt that I gave birth to the Antichrist. He was a fully grown man, looked just like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. I guess that was my interpretation of evil at that moment. And all around me, as I walked out, the world was ending. Sky ripping open, people running around screaming, fire swallowing the buildings, chaos like God had hit the apocalypse button early, like Revelation on crack. And I hear God's voice. Get to the mountain. I'm coming for the faithful. So I grabbed Dylan, my oldest. I grabbed Daniel. They fit in the car so easily. But my little girl, my little baby, my Caitlin, I can't get her in the seat. I'm pushing and I'm shoving, I'm looking around and everybody's in chaos. Time is running out. And finally, in desperation, I force her in so hard, I slice part of her side off. I'm crying and panicked, shaking. But I can't get her in. I had to do it. I started driving. I had to hang out my window so that I could see because the windshield was so destroyed. We reached the mountain. Below us, the world was tearing itself apart. I turned to my right and there's this man in the passenger seat. wearing jeans and a t-shirt, long brown hair, with a glowing white oval over his face, like God blurred him out. I don't know who he was, but the dream makes it very clear this man is my husband. Have you ever had a dream where you just knew somebody even though you didn't know somebody, but you knew that they were that person in your life? That's what it was like. And all of a sudden, Caitlin says she has to go to the bathroom. There's her unhealthy obsession with public restrooms. It started way back when. And a woman appears on the lower level. The low level is very mild. It's not being destroyed at all. It just looks like a park, with a playground and a bathroom. And she starts to reach up for Caitlin. Oh, I'll take her. Caitlin reaches back for her, and something in me knows if she goes, she will miss God. She'll miss God, and she won't go to heaven with us. I scream, "No, Caitlin, don't! You can't go! You'll miss him!" I'm screaming so loud, and nothing's coming out of my mouth. What the? I wake up gasping. Back then, at that moment in time, I had just stopped practicing witchcraft. I had had an experience one night. Everything just went to shit. And I saw the devil. And I knew that moment, if he's real, then God's real. And I'm on the wrong side. So I ran back to God. But in doing so, it's so hard when you start doing those things that it's just so hard. When I kept reading tarot and palms because it drew people to me, and I was so good at it. When I had this dream, I was still reading tarot and palms, playing in darkness I didn't fully understand. That dream was God slamming me with the biggest 2x4 of my life. Pick a side. If you don't pick a side, your daughter's doomed. I knew at that moment that I had to choose. That was the biggest 2x4 I ever got hit with. Life moved on. I gave my life back to Christ. I changed slowly, stubbornly. I fell in love. I got married. I made mistakes. I try not to. But then I hurt somebody who I loved me so deeply. We spent years rebuilding that trust. Real hard, painful, honest rebuilding. 12 years. Life, grief, disability, forgiveness. The kind of stuff that strips you down to your soul. And then one day, 9 years into our marriage, we were in Michigan, and I was getting into our car. Joe was in the passenger side, and I looked over at my husband, and I really looked at him, and that dream slammed back into my mind. It was him. It was Joe in the dream. The man in the car. The man God showed me years before we met. Exactly as he looks now. Hair and all. The only difference was the white oval God used to hide him from me. It was him. I'm 100% without a doubt positive. He hid him from me because it wasn't time yet. I didn't recognize him then. When I met Joe, he had short hair. He had only grown his hair out recently, before this. And I was living beside him every day, and I didn't realize. I was trying and healing, growing, learning mercy the hard way. God didn't just save me in that dream. He was showing me my future, showing me him, showing me that even though heartbreak, mistakes, forgiveness, disability, and grief, rebuilding, that we were meant to be. God had a plan. Sometimes God doesn't explain his 2x4s right away. Sometimes he waits until you've lived enough life to finally see what he was saying. And when you finally do, it's worth every hit. God Save Me was a Dream. A story by Diana Tagliavore.